Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here, and today, well, I wanna make a talk about advisor units, and this video might be a little bit too late coming in because the advisor unit rework is actually coming, and I need to say thank you to everyone who actually supported BF2K's campaign for this project. And I am definitely looking forward to what's actually gonna happen with the advisor units, and I wanna see how different they will be, because I like advisor units. Some of them are pretty cool. I mean, seriously, Hetairoi is the coolest one, and I just want to see them being more useful than what they are currently useful for. So instead, what this is gonna be, it's gonna be a small series actually, because we have multiple advisor units, so I'll split this into multiple videos. This is gonna be more general, but yeah, it's gonna be basically for historic purpose. So we know like what the advisor units were like before the change, and once the change happens, I'll be making a video like summarizing all the changes that happen, how different it will be. So yeah, take this with reserves, as these units will be changed quite soon enough. So yeah, this is gonna be more general, so let's start with this. And first of all, you might be asking, what are actually the advisor units? And this is something that probably new player would ask. And advisor units are called advisor units because they are units that you need an advisor active during the quest to actually be able to train these units. And there is quite a number of them, but for now there are advisor units specifically for 4 civs, which would be the Greeks, Egyptians, Celts, and Persians. And why for these civs only, not the others? At some point they just were stopped being made because they were not really worth making, and instead what we got was another advisor unit that is global for every civ, and we'll be talking about that unit in this video as well. But yeah, that's the main thing. So for you to actually be able to use these units, you need to find the advisor, unlock them, select the advisor, and then you will be able to train these units. There's also one more unit, but I'm not really considering it to be an advisor unit because it's just sheep spawning out of your TC regularly. It's not something that I would consider for a typical advisor unit, so that's just one unique case that I do not really consider for an advisor unit. So we will be talking about those military units that you can train at the fortress. And yeah, that is, let's talk about these. So what is really good about the advisor units? First of all, they have pretty good stats. For like the unit itself, if you take a look at any of them, look at their stats, they have pretty good stats if you compare them to some of their units that do the similar job. So for example, if I had to say something, in case of Greeks, if you compare Somatophylax with Hoplite, that's pretty good. Those are 2 pretty good units to compare. You'll notice that like that unit, Somatophylax, has pretty good health, pretty good base damage, but it is rather slow, it has some bonus against buildings, it has really good armor, and so on and so on. So it's really good to compare them to some units you already know, but if you're new, you might not know them. That's fine. What you need to know is their stats are really good. Now, this actually brings one big disadvantage, because these units actually do not use gear. So, although they look good on paper at first, because they don't use gear, they don't scale really well into the late game. This might be a little bit of an issue. Now, recently we've found out actually that these units actually do scale a little bit into the late game as you level up, and this is not the only case. We can talk about this time later, but yeah, these units actually scale a little bit when you level up. And what seems to be like, if you take a look at the unit when you start, when you get first time access to it, and then compare it at level 40, you might notice that that unit suddenly has more damage and health. So there is a little bit more scaling. From what I understand, it's like the base value and the maximum value, it's like 15% difference, something like that. Very small actually, but yeah. And as I said, these units actually require you to train them at the fortress, which, one good thing about them, most of them actually train quite fast, except of some quite heavy units. But yeah, most of them train quite fast. If you take a look at infantry, those usually take like 5 seconds, 6 seconds to train. And then you take a look at cavalry, usually it's like 10, 11 seconds. So very fast to produce them. But because you need fortress, it takes a long time to get the production. And if you want to have multiple production buildings, it's gonna cost you, okay? And not only resources, because fortresses, that's 300 wood, 400 stone, or in case of Egyptians and Norse, 400 wood, 300 stone, so 700 resources. That's a lot. Plus the build time, it's like 2 or 3 minutes, again depending which civ we're talking about. So these take quite a long time to build, and if you want to build multiple of them, it's gonna cost you. It's very expensive to get them. But if you get them, like I said, very good stats, very powerful. So what's the really good usage about these advisor units? Number one, as you level up, you have very strong units available to you. So for example, I mentioned the Somatophylax. That's a unit with really good armor, it has really good health, and it's pretty good against buildings. And most of the enemy units, well, they might be doing fine against them, but if you have the right number of units, Somatophylax will just clear any quest. Any leveling quest you do, Somatophylax, it will clear it. So that's one really good thing about the advisor units. Second thing, and I actually made a video about this a long time ago, so you can check it out. Just search on my video channel, YouTube channel, the video for Kourion, the elite version, not the legendary version. If you look it up, Kourion is actually a quest where you can train only villagers and town center units, or whatever it's specified there now, or used to be, but specifically it was villagers only. Advisor units are actually breaking this rule where you cannot train this specific unit type. So for example, when there's train only villagers, that means any advisor unit you train there actually does not break the optional objective. And that is so far the main reason people would pick advisor units after level 40, because there are these quests, hey, advisor units can actually clear this. And there are a few quests right now where you can actually utilize the advisor units, where for example you don't like going with cavalry, you prefer to go with infantry, but during this quest, hey, you cannot go infantry, so hey, you pick the Somatophylax advisor unit, now you can train Somatophylaxes, no problem, it does not break. So that's another good thing about them. And yeah, during the leveling, breaking these objectives, and that's it. That's the main reason you would want to pick these units, because after level 40 it is still possible to do even some legendary quests, some easier ones, but if you try to do some quite challenging legendary quests, advisor units will not do that good job, because usually advisor units bring also some kind of weakness. Although they have really good stats, they also carry some weakness, and this can be quite annoying. And obviously you need H3, so you get access to the fortress. Now you need the corresponding H for the advisor unit, so you actually are able to train them. And I guess that's all about the advisor units in general. It's quite simple, nothing really specific. Now let's talk about the Golden Hippikon. And this unit, I haven't picked it that many, but when I checked it just today, and you can just watch the playthrough, I was surprised how bad this unit actually is. But since this is the only case of advisor unit that has only common version, which other advisor units actually have epic versions as well, rare, uncommon, you know, the typical scaling for advisors. Golden Hippikon is one and only exception. Now, why is that? Because this advisor unit is actually not droppable. You get this when you create your save, because I don't remember what the exact conditions for this one was. I think it was for purchasing something at the Empire Bazaar. I don't remember if it was like the premium save or whatever. But yeah, when you create a save, you actually get this advisor as a reward from Marcus Pollux. That's why this is very unique unit. But yeah, for its stats and the unit what is actually about, this is straightforward. It's Hippikon. It's Hippikon, it's slightly cheaper. It has pretty good damage, okay health for when you begin, like 900 health. That's pretty good amount of health actually. But once you try to compare it to Hippikon, if you fully upgrade Hippikon, no gear actually, that unit, that Hippikon is already better than Golden Hippikon, which is actually shocking in how easy it is to like make better unit. But yeah, Hippikon is the best comparison. If you take a look at the Hippikon, fully get all the upgrades and compare it to Golden Hippikon, you might be asking, why would I even want to train the Golden Hippikon at this point? So yeah, that's for the Greeks, but like other saves might not be that lucky to have Hippikons. So that's for other saves, this might be good unit. But then they might also have some better alternatives as well. So this unit has pretty good health, pretty good damage for when you get it for the first time. And since this is Golden Age advisory unit, you need to be at least level 15 to actually be able to use this. And yes, level 15, that's quite late to be honest, because you reach level 15, you pretty much you're getting closer to the end of the tutorial campaign for your premium save. Then suddenly, hey, you're level 20, now you go to Babylon, you go to Northernhold or Argos or wherever you wanna go. And then it's like Cyprus and you're done. So at this point it's like very close to reaching the end, although still quite a few quests to actually get there. But yeah, at this point you're like, okay, I at least have some pieces of gear, or I'm getting closer to level 20 where I can actually visit some stores and get some pieces of gear for my other units, like for example Hippikon or your infantry. And at this stage it's pretty much better to just grab those units with gear. So pretty light for this unit. For how strong, I mean, it's not bad, but if I had to say, there are better advisor units than this one in my opinion. It has pretty good cost, like I would say 100 food and I think it was 65 gold. If I compare this to like Hippikon, that's 110 food and 70 gold, so it's slightly cheaper. Base health is pretty good. Base damage is also pretty good. You can, if you have the milestones and like level 40, this unit actually gets like 1000 health, which at that point is really bad. But yeah, if we just start with the 900 health, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You're level 15 unit with this amount of health, getting like almost 70 DPS. That's really good. That's not bad actually. But yeah, during the Golden Age, you might have better options than this one. So yeah, looking at the stats further, it has some nice pierce armor, 0.30, that's pretty nice. Can help you survive some range units, can help you survive some defenses. It's pretty good to have some pierce armor, especially on cavalry unit. Now, what actually surprised me was the crush armor, because this is actually so untypical for any cavalry unit. And that is that the crush armor is only 0.30. That is lower than what your typical cavalry unit has. Most of the cavalry units, with only one other exception, which is the Greek Psychosaurus, which has 0 crush armor. That is the only exception. But yeah, any other cavalry unit has 0.50. At least from what I remember, from what I know. I can't think of any other exception that would have it. All other cavalry units have 0.50 crush armor. So already that 20% damage reduction difference, that is huge actually. So that means this unit actually can get quite hurt by the enemy siege that deals crush damage. It can hurt this unit, okay? And although yes, the base movement speed is 9, which is higher than what your typical Hippikon has, the typical Hippikon actually gets the stable upgrades, so that can become faster, okay? It gets 10%, and suddenly it's almost the same speed. Another 10%, now the Hippikon is faster. So yeah, for this unit, although it looks nice that it has 9 speed, it is still quite slow if we consider all the stable upgrades. So overall, it is, I would say it is quite weak against enemy siege, okay? And although the pierce armor helps, I would say even the ranged units can do quite enough damage once you deal with the more challenging quests. The enemy units can hurt these Hippikons actually, which is not good for this unit. And last thing, training time is 11 seconds, which is pretty good actually. Like I said, for typical cavalry units, that is actually very fast. If we consider, like for example, the Hippikon, I think that one is like 25 seconds or something like that. Although yes, we can get the upgrade to lower it. So let's just say 20 seconds. It is a lot. So Golden Hippikons are easier to produce in this case, but you have to remember you need Fortress again, so it's not that huge advantage actually when the Fortress actually costs 3 times as much as a single stable, okay? So yeah, to actually compare this to stable units, you would need to be able to produce 3 Golden Hippikons in comparison to 1 Hippikon from stable, which is not the case, okay? So it is still quite expensive, and yes, the production is definitely better for the stables. Is it okay to use this unit? It definitely is. You can definitely break some objectives where you cannot train cavalry, so that's fine to do that. But remember, these units are not the toughest units. 1000 health, especially at level 40, is not much, okay? You might be able to do like some easy repeatables, that's fine. Definitely that unit is gonna do well in those quests. So if you are planning to play some repeatables just because, like for example, there are rotations in that region, you want to do them, this unit should be fine to use there, that's okay. But if we consider something more challenging, for example elites, that might be a little bit more problem for this unit. You should still be able to do some easier elites, but once we get to the more challenging ones, it's not gonna be great. No, it's not gonna be good. So be careful with this unit. It's okay to use, but only easier quests, okay? You're leveling up, fine. Easy repeatables, fine. Some easier elites, fine. Maybe even some easy legendary quests, some super easy ones, not the most challenging ones obviously. You might be able to pull them off with this unit as well. It's just not that good, okay? It its damage in the end is not gonna be the greatest, because 70 DPS, it's nice, but there are no bonuses, there are no, it's free pop unit, so yeah, 70 DPS for free pop unit, that's not the highest, okay? Especially when there are no bonuses, that would tell me like, at least it's worth in these cases. No, it just becomes really bad. So yeah, use this unit if you want to do some easier quests. Even then, I would say your base units that your Sith already has available to them, and if you put some gear on them, will be better option than Golden Hippikon. But who knows, in the future, maybe we'll see some redemption for this unit. But yeah, that's all from me for now, so I hope you found this interesting. We will definitely continue with other advisor units next time, and definitely we'll follow in the Sith. So next time I will do the Greeks. So hopefully you found this interesting. Please like this video if you did. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are looking forward to more of these videos. And yeah, don't forget to leave a comment. Like, did you find this useful? What are you hoping the advisory work will actually do to these units? Because I am definitely looking forward to these. I definitely am looking for some kind of redemption for these units. I like them. They're cool looking. They are something different. They bring some different playstyles. We'll see what the future brings. So yeah, this was Psychosaurus. I'll see you next time. Bye.